Hello, everyone. This is your host, Kevin Hano, and I'm really excited to be here with you in the No Name Show, guys, because basically we're still searching for a name. But anyway, on this show, we're going to talk about marketing, about social media strategy, about ads, about everything you need to know just to run a profitable business and grow your impact, guys. But before anything, let me introduce my fellow partner. He's a videographer, an editor, and also a content creator for Wolf Media here in the UK. Here's Seb, just with me on my right. How are you, Seb?
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. My name's Seb. Kevin kind of explained everything I do. But I just wanted to do a quick introduction to, if you haven't seen our last podcast, our first episode was what kind of businesses should you launch first in 2021? And another question we spoke about was what was the first thing you should do when you launch a business? So once again, if you want to watch that video, links are in the description down below. And we've also extracted some highlights. So when we're answering a question, like a 5-minute question, if you just want to see that in the podcast, then you can click on that specific video. But anyway, today I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper into the topics we spoke about and a little bit more on a personal level. So I have a small business idea in my head that I've always wanted to do since I was younger. And obviously I work with Kevin on the content side and with Wolf Media, but I also have my own following on Instagram and TikTok where I teach people video and creative tips. And I built a nice little community over there, and something I've always wanted to do when I was younger. And I know it's something that you have spoken about in the past before, and that is creating a clothing brand. So I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit, let me know what you think of that, and just explore the idea. And maybe we can also talk about some influencers, because I know some influencers have clothing and they have a real brand, whereas some influencers just do fan merch where it's just their logos. But yeah, I thought that could be a quite good topic to talk about today.
Yeah, it's a really good topic, actually. But anyway, guys, just before jumping into this topic, remember that this show is also for you. So if you have a question, if you have something in your mind you want to ask to the show, to Sebastian, and also me, just put it in the comments below and ask your question, because in this show, we answer your questions every single week. So today we are going to talk about influencer clothing lines and stuff like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the idea behind just starting your own clothing line is something that I had also in my mind for a long, long time. But eventually, I never did it for one reason. The first one is because I never had enough time just to create a good product, like a real clothing line or something. Because at the end of the day, I never wanted to create something like a really cheap product, like a t-shirt or something with just my logo on it, with no quality. And I think that's one of the craziest mistakes that all the influencers are making right now on the internet. They are just rushing for the money. They want to make money. They want to just launch something. And basically, that's a real mistake, because that's going to hurt your business in the long term. And I think that's one of the craziest mistakes right now. You should avoid to create a bad product, because your product is going to be your reputation in the next following days, weeks, and even months or years in the future. So I think one of the most important things you want to do every time you are going to release a product is ask to yourself, would you buy the product? Would you buy it for your day-to-day clothing line, or would you use it on a daily basis? Would you wear it? If you are just going to create like a clothing line or something, would you wear that product? And I think that's really key. Would you use that product? That's one of the most important parts, I think.
Yeah. One thing also which you can also take into consideration, like some of the bigger channels on YouTube, they aren't that focused on actually making quality products. For example, like Mr. Beast. I know that his products are pretty cheap, but he's got such a huge following. People just want to wear his logo and let everyone know that they know Mr. Beast, or they follow Mr. Beast. But yeah, I agree with what you say. I wouldn't want to create a clothing brand where it's just rubbish quality. You just put a logo on it and there you go. That's it.
And everyone's different. Like for some people, just starting a product with no idea behind it or no quality behind it is okay. For me, it's not. When I'm just creating something, I want to be proud of my product. I want my customers to be proud of the values I'm just sharing through my product, and also to be happy to use it and just recommend that product. And when you are happy about a product, you are going to just recommend it. And I think that's common sense. At least for me, that's like this. I want to create good products, even if it takes time to create them, and even if it takes time just to improve them. I think that's really important, and I think you should also do it. Okay, so now that you have the idea behind that product you want to launch, there's also something you have to launch. Basically, you have to start selling that product. So if you want to start your clothing line, or at the end of the day, any kind of products, whether it's just an online course or some t-shirts or anything, any kind of products, the thing you want to do to launch it the proper way is basically try to build some anticipation. Try to just bring your audience into the process of creating your product. And I think that's probably the easiest way to launch a product without just overthinking the process of selling it. So if you start by making your logo, try to ask your audience, and try to ask, even if you have like a little audience, ask them what are their thoughts about that product, what they think about that idea, that color you want to use, and just bring them on board. And I think that's really important, because if you ask for a feedback, you're going to have some insane and really interesting information about what is the product they want to buy in the end. And they are going to be the buyers. They are going to be your customers, your clients. And that changes everything, basically.
Yeah,
so just
I think that's also like a really valid point you're saying. Just for instance, for me, I'm at the moment I'm designing my own kind of clothing, so my design, and I think I have a Discord server so the Discord server is like some of my most loyal fans. Like there's 300 members in there, and then I have a huge following on social media. What I was thinking of doing is obviously asking my Discord server first. What they thought if I created some clothing, then I'd show them the designs and get some input from them. And once I've gotten the first round of feedback from them, then I'm going to head over to social media, let everyone know that this is what I'm doing. And I'll also engage with them and be like, what do you guys think of this design versus this design, to kind of get them to interact and engage and feel like they're part of the creation of the product. And that'll just build up hype and momentum, and then hopefully make a few sales. Because the worst thing you want to do is create a product where your followers have no idea what it is. You don't even know if people are going to be interested. You're spending like 500, 600 pounds on a bunch of t-shirts, and then you don't get any sales.
You get some stock, and then you try to sell it, and no sales. The biggest nightmare, no sales. And yes, you made a good point here. I think building that momentum, and also the word I use, anticipation, I think that's key in marketing. And that's also a mistake most marketers, especially the new marketers, new entrepreneurs, are doing. They think about a product. They start making it in their mind. And after 3 months or 6 months, just thinking about it, they release it just like this, and they make no sales. And the reason behind this is because they didn't talk about it. They didn't introduce that product to their audience. And if they had just introduced it to their audience for over the past few months they've been working on, it would be a totally different story. It would be totally different, and for sure they would have made so much more sales. So I think that's a really good point. Try to build momentum, try to build anticipation, and ask your audience everywhere, social media, even around you, your family, everyone should be involved into it. That's really important. So build into anticipation. And there's also another point I want to just talk about really quickly. That's the money. You shouldn't rush for the money. You should always think about your customers first. Try to build that audience, try to build that rapport with your audience. And especially at the beginning of any business, you're not going to create a ton of money from your audience. What you want to create, though, is basically create a good and strong relationship. You want to have a good reputation, and reputation comes from just building the best product possible. And to build the best product possible, you ask your audience. It's always the same cycle, the same rhythm. Ask your audience, get the feedback, get their inputs, and bring it back to your product ideas, and just improve them, and rinse and repeat, just like this, all day long, all year long, every time.
Another way that's really good to build anticipation for your product is if you're sharing it on social media with your followers or you have a private community. One really great thing you can do is just build a mailing list and be like, hey guys, if you are interested in this product, sign up here so you can get some exclusive updates. Keep them up to date if you want. You don't have to, but the key thing is you have their email, and then once the product is launched, you can just send out an email and get some sales, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't talk about it, but that's the idea of just having Sebastian with me, because basically it's common sense to me. It's like common sense. When you are going to launch something, let the people know, but also bring them onto your mailing list before the product is ready. So create something like a landing page, an opt-in page. Ask for the first name and probably the email address or the phone number. And when your product is about to be released, just let them know. Just let them know. And all these past few months, you've been working on this, just building some anticipation. When you are finally ready to launch it, let them know, and you're going to make some sale. That's how it's going to make and how going to happen. But just before going to the next subject, because I think we have an interesting question about how to make more sales for high ticket offers, I want just to talk about something really quickly for the content creation part. Try not to overthink it, because basically when you want to just build that anticipation, you don't want to build or make a really long 60-minute video or something. Try to make it short. Try to make it like a short story, or even just a TikTok. A 15 seconds TikTok or something is enough just to share your product ideas and just share the content creation process. It's basic.
Yeah, an important thing you said as well is get on TikTok and get on Instagram Reels, because I've been on there for a few months now, and I can't tell you how many people I've seen who've started a clothing brand or a jewelry brand, and TikTok's all about that kind of community. Like, they see a small business, they're going to go check it out, and typically prices aren't that expensive and people always want to support each other. So I've seen some channels, they started out the same time I started out, and they've got clothing brands. Some of them have 500,000 followers, some of them 300,000 followers. Just share your journey on TikTok, on social media. You're going to gain loads of traction, and then you're also going to gain loads of customers in return.
Document, don't create. That's the idea. Just document. So let's jump into the next subject. What is the best way to sell your high ticket offers? That's a question that would be probably on the line in the next following days for you, or even months, if you want to really start creating your own business and if you want to make money quickly in business. And I take quickly with some quotes, because basically I'm not really looking for the quick money, but eventually when you have your business ready with your audience and you want to get started, you want to make money to pay the bills and just to live, basically, you want to make a profit. And to make a profit, selling a high ticket offer is probably the most easiest way to make that profit. Just before talking about this, let's define what a high ticket offer is. So Google says a high ticket offer is basically a price that you put on your service and product, which is much higher than you normally charge. Does it make any sense for you?
Well, yeah, it makes sense to me, because we've been selling loads of high ticket offer products in the past months. But yeah, it's basically just like a premium product where you offer a bunch of services. And
that's it.
That's it, really.
That's it. You kind of nailed it. But just to go a bit further, a high ticket offer is to be compared to something like a low ticket offer. Just compare it to a basic, normal kind of offer. You would take your time and you would sell it. You are probably selling some online courses, or even just selling your coaching services. Something like, imagine you're selling 1 hour of coaching. This is the most normal offer you could make. On the other side, there's another way just to sell the same kind of coaching, but for a much higher price. Instead of selling 1 hour per 1 hour, you take a 1 year long coaching and you just make an offer about this. So basically sell a 1 year coaching program with a monthly recurring or a monthly meeting or something. It will be so much easier to raise your prices, to make more money, and to make more profits. Yeah. I thought you wanted to say something. Nothing to add.
No.
Okay. So just sell something at a much more higher price. It's going to change so many things, because this way you will raise your prices and then you can make more profit. And also, there's another thing you can do when you got more profits and more margins. You can start to advertise on the internet. And when you start to advertise on the internet, that's the exact moment when you are going to just release something crazy and just unlock something like the Pandora box. I think you got this expression, the Pandora box. It's going to just blow your mind how it's going to change your business the day you are going to use advertisement. And to use advertisement, you have to make profit. To make profit, high ticket offer. That's probably the easiest strategy.
And just to like recap, and correct me if what I'm saying is wrong, but basically, you want to create a high ticket offer if you have a bunch of services. So for example, for us, we have a Google Ads course, and we offer loads of coaching on the side and all of that sort of stuff. Well, what we've done to bundle our high ticket offer is we've gone the extra mile and we're giving additional information. So for instance, yes, we have our ads marketing course for Google, but we also include free coaching a couple times a month. We also include free ebooks, audiobooks. So we've created some assets for people to use, like cheat sheets and that sort of stuff. And what we've also done to go the extra mile, and what makes it a high ticket offer, is we've turned it into audiobooks. So if people don't have the time to read what we're doing, they can just simply go on their phone and listen to our audiobook, and they get the exact same value from our content. And that's the same thing with our course as well. We've also turned it into an audio format so people can just listen to it on the go. And it's really easy to do, but a lot of people don't go that extra mile, and that's how you really be different when you're creating a high ticket offer.
Yeah, and that's really key. We are doing it every single time. There's also another type of product I'm just really translating and just moving to a high ticket offer. I changed it a few years ago already. I used to sell my software on a monthly basis. Like you would buy it for a recurring fee of 39 euros or 79 euros or something. But it wasn't really profitable. And also for a business standpoint, you really want to get more money, the money as quick as possible, because the more money you have, the more you can invest into your staff and into everything. So instead of just selling it on a regular basis, like monthly recurring fee, we changed it to a 1-year program and also a 1-year membership to our program. So it was the software for 1 year. It was also an online course and also a weekly recurring coaching call. And that's a nice way to bring more value to your audience. And of course, guys, when you are creating a high ticket offer, it's not about just raising your prices, raising the cost of your product. It's also about raising the value you would just give to someone, you would just give to your customer. And this is what you are supposed to do if you want to get more money about it. It's always about value exchange. You exchange money to value something. Yeah. So I think that's probably a good strategy for everyone, or at least a good idea of the product you should launch. A nice way to just sell that product is that instead of just selling it through normal ways, and by normal ways I mean just having a sales page where you just offer that product to your audience. I used to sell these kind of products by doing a webinar. If you don't know a webinar, guys, it's basically hosting an event, just a live event like this, and you would just do a presentation for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And at the end of that presentation, at the end of that keynote, you would basically make an offer to your audience. And that's what we call a webinar. So I've been doing webinars for probably 10 years now. It's been a long time. But eventually, when you are trying to scale it, and when you want to scale your business, you want to automate as much things as possible. But when you have a live webinar, a live weekly webinar, it's quite hard just to make it really, really powerful and just to scale it, because you have to be present. You have to be here talking to the webinar and talking to your audience. But on the other side of the equation, it's really effective because you are here, you are talking to your audience, and it works brilliantly. It's really nice, it's powerful. But if you want to scale it, you have to automate it. And the problem about webinars with high ticket offers is that if you are not here to answer your audience questions about your high ticket offer, that's not going to convert so so nicely, so as high as a basic live webinar. You have to be really here to answer your audience questions. So basically, what we did a few weeks ago, instead of just running automated webinars, we turned it into a phone call funnel. So we do a webinar which is automated. At the end of the webinar, we invite our audience to a phone call, and during that phone call, we answer all of their questions. All of their questions are basically answered during that call, and at the end of the call, we just make the sale if this is a right fit for them. So I think that's a totally different way of selling on the internet, but it's really powerful, especially when you are selling high ticket offers. Because just imagine this: as a customer, you are going to spend something like 1,000 or 2,000 euros, but on an automated webinar, it's quite hard to have your answers, and you need some feedback from your seller, basically. So having someone over the phone is much easier, just to be convinced and just to be willing to buy the product. And I think this changes everything in your marketing strategy, and at least it changes everything in my strategy and also in my customer strategy. So I think in the future, because we've been talking about this for a long time now, but I think in the next following weeks, we're going to talk specifically about this kind of strategy, these kind of funnels, and we have a lot of things to tell you guys about it.
Yeah, I think one of the main takeaways from that as well is, I don't think you mentioned it, but at the end of the automatic webinar, you have a funnel, right, which asks the people what they thought of the webinar, asks people if they're interested and if they have the budget for such package. And the main thing to focus on that is, if people don't have the budget, then don't focus your time on those people, rather focus more your time on the people who are really interested and involved and have the budget. So don't focus on closing everyone you can, focus on quality leads over quantity.
Never. You should always focus on quality, qualified leads only. Because if you are trying to sell to everyone, you can just convince almost everyone with the budget to buy your product. But if someone is not the right fit for your product, for your service, at the end of the day, that's going to be an issue for your business. Your service won't be used, and your reputation is going to be hit by that product not used. And I think that's a mistake. You shouldn't try to sell to everyone. You should try to sell to the people you can really help, and you can really just give the service and help with your service. I think that's a good point. Just focus on quality over quantity, especially when you are selling products. That's really important. And don't close everyone. That's the idea. So I think we kind of nailed that question. It seems to be okay. What do you think?
Pretty in depth in that one, yeah.
Yeah. So let's jump into the next one.
So, best content idea to make millions of views on YouTube.
Because I wrote that question just before our podcast, our second episode. And every time when you are trying to make content on the internet, you are thinking and trying to search the best content idea. And it could be just creating some quick tips about a subject, a topic, or any kind of just videos. But eventually there's another way to create content that is going to bring value and also going to just bring a ton of attention. Because even if you are bringing value in the video, that doesn't mean you are going to get traffic, because the algorithms and all those things are working in such a way that you can't really just manage to get traffic every time. I had some videos on my channel which are really, really good, really powerful, but eventually they are not taking any traffic or something. But anyway, I just want to go onto that thing, because basically I was watching to a guy. I'm just going to share my screen if it's possible. And that's a guy who's talking about jewelry and also some watches. I'm going to share it just really quickly with you guys. So you should see my screen right now like this. And what this guy is doing, so his name is Nico Leonard, I think, probably some kind of name. Yeah, anyway. So what he's doing is really interesting and really smart. He's basically roasting and criticizing and talking about other people's watches and collection watches. So he's just making a video, and he made a video about Logan Paul, about fake rappers, about Mark Wahlberg. Wahlberg. Also, Wahlberg. About Conor McGregor's. And what's really smart about that is he's making a video about someone who's really known, like a famous YouTuber. And by doing this, he's going to bring attention to his videos, because these videos, these guys, Logan Paul, McGregor's, or everyone in these videos are really famous. And if you're like a fan of these guys, you will want just to be more involved into their content, into their lives. And by seeing this kind of just videos, you would go straight into it and you will try to just look at them. And I think that's really, really smart of him. And that's another way just to create content, because when you look at the content, he started something like, I think it's probably 2019. So it's not that far away. It's not that old. It's not an old channel. And he's already got 300,000 subscribers. And when you look at the videos, he's got millions of views on the best and the top videos. 1.4 million views for the videos about KSI, who's a famous YouTuber in the UK. Also PewDiePie, 1 million views. And that's huge, guys. And I think that's a nice way to create content and basically to bring more value. What's your input about that?
Yeah, his thumbnails are really good. The one question I have about his channel in particular then is, does he sell anything? Like, what's his motive?
That's the thing, because he's not just making content to roast people and just criticize them. He's got something like, I think if I'm right, he's got how's it called? It's like, okay, there's an ad. He's got a store on the internet, and basically he sells watches, luxury watches like Rolex or any kind of watches like this. I'm not an expert in watches, but anyway, he sells watches and he's got a store on the internet. So that's the idea behind just roasting people. You don't have to just roast for roasting. You have to be here to just also bring value. And that's exactly what this guy is doing. He's giving value by criticizing and by just reviewing other people's stuff. And on the other side is also talking about the watches and just bringing value, as I said. And at the end of the day, he's getting attention, he's getting traffic, and he brings that traffic back to his website. And that's the strategy. And that's fucking smart.
Yeah, I think, and also a really good way to make good content and content that lasts for a long time is make evergreen content. So if you have if you're in the tech space or something, or the video editing space, for example, for me, making tutorials on a certain effect or something that it has always been popular, or going on to trends. So, for example, there's a trend on TikTok quite recently where people were changing the color of their top to green, blue, red, purple, all of that. So, for example, for me, I hopped onto that trend and I actually showed people how to do this effect in Premiere Pro. And that video has gained thousands, hundreds and thousands of views. And I've reposted that multiple times, and I've got well over 1 million views on that video alone.
Tutorial work really well. And can you just define evergreen content? Because basically, not everyone is just familiar with this kind of content. You got two kind of contents: evergreen and also more something like news or just one-time content. Can you just define evergreen?
I'm probably not the best person to explain the real definition, but it's basically you're making content that's going to last for a really, really long time. So an evergreen piece of content,
even forever, literally forever.
An evergreen piece of content could be how to upload a YouTube video onto YouTube. People are always going to be searching that because people are always new to YouTube, or how to create an Instagram account. That's going to be there forever. There's probably better examples that I could use that you probably know. But that kind of explains what evergreen is. And then the other one,
evergreen is everlasting. It's never stops. It's always bringing value, no matter what time it is, instead of just having a content that would be worth only for 1 minute. If you want to compare it to something really, really easy to understand, is basically the news. The news are totally irrelevant in 2 weeks from now. Because if you talk about something like the COVID-19 right now, in 2 years or 10 years from now, all the content that has been created about this subject would be meaningless, no information at all. It would bring nothing to the audience. When you take Sebastian's content, or even the content we are creating for Wolf Media, for our YouTube channel, we are trying to make evergreen content, a content that you would be able to use in 1 month from now, 10 years from now, and even more if it's possible. So that's the idea behind evergreen content, and that's how you can literally have some compound effect. You are just going to create content, make a snowball effect, and maybe in 10 years from now we'll have a ton of traffic on your social media.
And the beauty of that as well is, even if you're not getting much traction right now, say for example one of your tutorials or videos comes back into trend, your video is already going to be there, and say it's got like 1,000 views already, that might be recommended. YouTube might recommend that video to other people, and because it's back in trend, it will just snowball, and in consequence that will also snowball your channel, and who knows, you might be famous in 1 week, or who knows.
That's exactly it, and that can't happen with news content. It's not possible. After 1 week, it's nothing at all. So I think we also nailed that third question. What's your thought about it?
Yeah, that's okay. Good. Yeah.
So we wanted to start another section in this show, guys. So by the way, guys, if you like the show, please click on the like button, and also share your thoughts with us, because basically we are trying to get better over time, and we are trying to just bring you more value. And what a nice way just to ask you for your feedback and your questions. So yes, if you have any questions, fill the blank below. There's a comment box, click on it, share your questions, and we will try to just answer them. But before answering your question in the next episode, we want to just start a new section. Maybe it's going to be short, I have no idea, but we wanted to create something like a random content section or something. So have you prepared anything about what happened during the last few days for you? Or because I have a picture, I have something, and maybe we can start with this.
Yeah, we can start with yours. I also wanted to jump on a little topic that I don't know if it's because I've got a new phone or something, but we'll talk about that after yours. But yeah, let's go into that.
Okay, because I was on Instagram, because sometimes I'm going on Instagram, and I was just browsing and swiping up on my phone, and I just saw that picture, and I really like that picture. Would you please read it for me, Sebastian? Because I prefer if you read.
Yeah. So if you had $86,400 and someone stole $10, would you throw $86,390 away for revenge, or move on and live? Right, you would probably move on and live. So you have 86,400 seconds each day. Don't let someone's negativity for 10 seconds ruin the remaining 86,390 seconds of your day, because life is bigger than that, and so are you.
Thanks a lot. And I really like that picture, and the reason why I'm just sharing it with you is because when I first started on the internet a few years ago, I got roasted for a few things that I shared on the internet, with the look I had on my videos, with the glasses I used in my videos. And I was feeling so bad after receiving these comments that I couldn't record more videos. I was kind of just stressed, and at least for a few hours, and at least for a few days. And that picture we just saw in front of the camera and on front of the podcast was really powerful, I think, because basically you are bringing some value to your audience. And because of one negative comment, you are going to just stop everything and stop bringing value to everyone in your community or in your audience. And that's a critical mistake. That's a huge mistake. And because of one negative comment, you can't ignore all the people who are following you on a daily basis, and all these people who are just trying to get information from you, and basically you're helping them in their lives. And there's no way you can do it. You can't stop bringing value to these people just because of one person roasting you for no reason and just for being rude. That's it. And I think that's probably the hardest thing to just live with at the beginning of any creator success or any creator journey, because when you are starting to create content, you are going to expose yourself on the internet. You are going to be judged at some point. But remember this, when you create content and when someone's just going to criticize it, it's never about you. It's always about them. So just take this as an example.
Yeah.
Someone is basically really against making money. All his life, he's been taught that money is bad. His parents have been just telling them, you shouldn't make any money. It's really bad for you. It's only for the riches. And that's basically robbing people. When they are going to see your video talking about this kind of topic, how to make money, how to make anything, they are going to take it for them, and they are going to just oppose or just be hurt, by that topic you are sharing, because they think it's impossible and they don't want to just face the truth. And that's my idea behind that. It's not about you, it's about them. So don't stop helping people because you are being criticized by one person only. And I think that's something I wanted to share, because I was browsing and I saw this and it remembered me how hard it could be when you are getting started on something like creating content. And when someone's just roasting you or just sending a really bad comment, it can hurt sometimes. But remember that you are helping more people than the people you are hurting.
Yeah, I think one also key takeaway from that is something I've been seeing on social media a lot recently. It's the same trend, is don't get upset when people close to you aren't supporting you, or they might be encouraging you to stop doing what you're doing, because the moral of the story is the people who are close to you who aren't supporting you are jealous of what you've achieved, because they know deep down they've come from the exact same place you've come. So like your closest friends are in the same area as you. And if you've achieved something really big and they're not supporting you, it's because deep down they're jealous that you've achieved such accomplishments, and you both came from the exact same place, and there's no reason why they couldn't have done the exact same thing.
Jealous and also scared, because sometimes they want to do it. They want to start the business you are starting, and the business that's going to just take 10 years to get better or just get known, but they are scared to do it. Because yes, that's hard to start things. That's hard to just start making and creating content. And maybe these people, they want to do it and they are scared, and their only way just to share the scare is by criticizing you and giving you some bad comments. So just ignore it. Just focus on your audience, on what you can bring to the world, and just try to make more content and help more people. And I think that's the idea behind that picture, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So that's it. Yeah. That's my picture of the day.
Yeah, I think I've also got one quick thing, just want to skim by it as well. And get your thoughts on it. So I got a new phone, and obviously when you get a new phone, you get new ads. And one of the ads that I recently came across on Instagram was this ad right here. And it reminded me of last year, where, I don't know if you remember them, these things called pop sockets. So people used to put them on their phone. So it looks a little bit like this, and you could pull it out of your phone and you could hold your phone like this, right? And so you wouldn't have to hold your phone like this. And this is like a reinvented design of such a product. And I just thought it was pretty interesting, because they've kind of taken all the criticism that pop sockets had, where it's kind of quite bulky on your phone and you can't lie your phone flat, and you couldn't like assemble your phone onto all these little platforms, and you could use it at the gym and that sort of stuff. And I just thought it was pretty interesting that they've kind of reinvented the product. And I also did a little screen recording of their landing page. And like, this is something that I wouldn't buy, but after seeing the price, is actually something I would actually reconsider buying, because it's so cheap. So it's £9.
Yeah, it's really cheap.
It's really cheap, and it's actually something that, so this is the product here. There's a little flap that comes out, and you can lie your phone up or vertically and put it, like if you wanted to put your phone on your computer monitor, you could do that as well, which I thought was pretty cool. And I just think it's pretty smart how they've reinvented one product that was trending last year.
And also the way they are just promoting that product, because basically they are doing and making a demo video and they're just sharing it. I think, because I didn't see the ad, by the way. Can you just show the ad so we can see it rolling when I just speak or something? Because basically that's the ad, and they're showing the product in use and they're showing how it works. And I think that's a nice way also on this podcast, guys, just to talk about ads. So if you have any ads on your business that you want to start, or if you want to have our thoughts about an ad, just share it with us and we're going to talk about it. But anyway, on this one, I think the most important takeaway is basically that if you want to just make the perfect ad, especially if you are selling an e-commerce product / a physical product or something like this, the best way to sell it is to show how it works, to show to your potential audience, to your targeted audience, how the product works. And I think that's exactly what they are doing here. So let's just play it again. Just play it again. They're just making a demo video. You can use it everywhere, and I think that's a nice way just to use your product and to show how it works, and then finally sell it. Because basically this is how an ad should work. Show to your customer the value he's going to take away from your product, and that's exactly what they are doing here. So it's really smart, and you should probably try to use these kind of just videos and also ads. And there's also something I want to add on top of that, because what you are doing here by recording your screen is something that all of you guys should do right now. Every time you see a great ad, a great YouTube video ad, or Instagram or Facebook or whatever the ad is or the platform is, basically record your screen. Record your screen, take some notes, and put it on one spreadsheet or somewhere that you can just rely on and just look for when you want to get some inspiration. I think that's really key, and that's something you should really consider right now. If you're not doing it, we are doing it on my business every single day. Every time when I'm seeing a great ad, I'm taking two things: the ad creative, the video, the content, the picture, the title, the text, everything. And then at the end, I take also the landing page. I take the link, I paste it straight into my spreadsheet. I keep it, and then when I need some inspiration, I look into my spreadsheet and I get my inspiration.
Another quick thing to do as well, if you're on the go, is if you don't have time to screen record your thing because you've got a meeting to go to or something, if you're on Instagram, for example, just add it to your saves, and then at the end of the week, go to your saves and then create the spreadsheet like Kevin said.
And just remember to go at the end of the day or at the end of the week, go back to your saved clips and saved videos and remember to take it, because sometimes what happens with these ads is that the creator is going to remove it, and it's not because the ad is bad or because the ad is not performing, but maybe because he wanted to sell something else, or maybe the product is out of stock and they just remove that ad. Or I think that's something you should really do, because when you are trying to create some ads or content or anything, inspiration is key. And sometimes it comes like this straight away. You just have to go in front of your camera and record it. But sometimes you need some inspiration, and that's a nice way to get some inspiration. Great share.
All right. I think we can also quickly go on to Clubhouse.
Okay, so let's talk quickly about this one, and then we're going to stop the podcast in a few minutes, because I think for that subject, that topic that Sebastian is going to share with you in a few seconds, we can also make something like a longer podcast and talk about it for a longer time. But let's go for it, Sebastian. Just share it with us, and what's your thought behind it?
So I joined Clubhouse, I think 2 or 3 days ago, and at first I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, all right, people are just talking.
What's this boring ad app again? What's that?
And then I got more into it and actually joined some rooms that are related to me. So like stuff to do with video editing or YouTube, Instagram, and all of that. And I soon realized, one, you can talk to some really influential people. Like I know Elon Musk has been on a few Clubhouse rooms. A few YouTubers I know have been on Clubhouse rooms that I've been in, and I've actually had the chance.
I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. Clubhouse is an app on your iPhone. Basically, you install the app on your iPhone, and you're able to join a room on your iPhone. And these rooms are designed really simply. You join a room with some people. And in these rooms, you have some speakers that you can just chat with. And that's all about voice. You can ask questions, you can get answers. And what's really cool about that is that you are able right now to connect with almost everyone, especially these days, because basically this app is basically brand new. I think it got started something like a few weeks or a few months ago, probably. Yeah, a few months ago, probably. And that's really interesting because at the beginning of everything, the audience is pretty tiny, pretty small right now, especially with this app because it's only on invitation. And as an example, I've been waiting for something like, I think it's probably 3 months or something, and I never had any invitation. And you just sent me my first invitation one day ago.
Got you into Clubhouse, Kevin.
Yeah, he got me into Clubhouse. He's my referral. But the idea behind that is that right now you can network with everyone. And I think that's probably the best use of this app. So anyway, just continue if you had to add something. And
yeah, I think it's really
cool. Used it. What's the reason you used it for?
Well, my friend, who's a videographer, said he's got an invite, and he was like, "I can invite you if you want." And I was like, "Don't know." And then I just decided, you know what? Let's give it a go because I haven't got much going on. And at first I was quite scared because like it's just voice channels with loads of random people. And then I got into a room and started talking with a couple of them. And we just shared, and like I gave loads of knowledge and I know about like Instagram Reels and TikTok, and they were giving me feedback and other tips, and we're just exchanging loads of information. And an actual interesting thing that happened to me as well yesterday is I was in a room and I was talking about Instagram Reels, and then there were two people in that room who were like, "Oh my God, I follow you on TikTok." And I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." But it's just cool how we can exchange, and you can also meet people that are following you without even knowing, which I thought was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway about Clubhouse, which is a totally new brand new app on the internet, you should use it in two ways. Never use it, and that's my first takeaway. Never use it just to consume content. I think we got so many places right now to consume content, and as a content creator, you have to create content. So you shouldn't use it as a content creator to consume content. But I think that's my opinion. You should use it to network with people. That's a really, really nice way to network with big influencers, bigger than you, and just connect with people and connect with your audience as well. Because basically, exactly like Sebastian, you can just meet your audience and meet someone just following you on Instagram straight into that app, Clubhouse. And that's really, really cool, actually. That's really cool. And I think just for networking, it's really nice for networking. Also, the other thing I would use it for is basically just to give more content, to connect with my audience, and to host my own rooms. And I think that's the idea and the main takeaway of this: network and also create your own room. Apart from this, I think that's another way just to consume content and to lose more time in your life. So I think, I'm a bit concerned about it.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting what you said. Like, this app is, if there's one main takeaway from it, it is just, it's a networking app. It's where you can talk to people and you can also engage with people. So like for me, I was in an Instagram room, and I wasn't a speaker. Like, I wasn't one of the moderators, but I was on the stage talking about some tips. And after I finished in that room, after it ended, I got a few Instagram DMs from the moderators, and they're like, "You've got some really, really good tips. Would love to have you as a host next week." So if you are specializing in something, so like Kevin, for example, could be like marketing, join some marketing rooms and then just network with people. And then they might even invite you to come on stage and host next week or something like that. And that's how you can promote your brand, promote your product. And then eventually you're doing one-on-one interactions with people, even though you're in a room with a bunch of people. Like, you might have 500 people listening to you, and something that you've said has been like flipped a switch for them. They'll go check out your profile, message you, buy your products, talk about, because if you're talking about products, they'll go buy it. It's just a really great way to network with other people and get new clients.
Yeah, and I really like what you said about you're doing one-to-one interaction, but to give you and to go the extra mile, you're not really going to do the one-to-one like exchange. You are going to do the one-to-one to many, because basically you are being listened to by many different people. In the houses, the clubhouses, I don't even know how they name it, but anyway.
Yeah, the rooms.
the rooms when you are just listening to someone, and when you are just speaking into that kind of room, you are going to be listened to by a few different people, and all these people are just taking their time to listen to you, and you are literally doing a one-to-one interaction with them. Because even if they are not talking, even if they are not speakers, they are listening to you. They are listening to your voice, the way you are speaking, the things you are saying. And this is how you start a relationship, especially if you are being hold or being just, if you are going to be added into a recurring or something, like a recurring show, you are going to just bring value, and that's going to be remembered by these people. And that's the thing I wanted to say. You are going to be remembered because you bring value.
Yeah, a crazy thing that sets Clubhouse apart from every other social media platform is just picture it as if you're at a dinner table. So obviously you can't do this at the moment because of COVID, but imagine like you're at a dinner table with a bunch of your friends or a bunch of business partners. You're exchanging ideas, you're talking about ideas that you're thinking about or business plans, and you just go to that dinner table. So in Clubhouse, you go to that room, you talk about your idea, and then people left, right, and center are going to give you feedback. They're going to give you more ideas, expand on it. And it's just a great way to build just whatever you have in your mind, really. Really
I'm laughing because it's exactly it. That's really, really, really nice, guys. Especially when you are at the dinner table, you are speaking, and the problem when you are at the dinner table, you are speaking and other people are also speaking. The difference with Clubhouse is that you are speaking and everyone's listening to you. Everyone's listening to you. And that's really amazing because they are listening to what you are saying. And even if you are starting with 0 and there are just 38 people in the room, and we had rooms like this yesterday, that's 38 people listening to you with an opinion, with a life, with something that they can just share with you, and just they can be your next subscribers, your next customer. And that's it, guys. You have to,
and
just
it's direct as well. Like you share with them, and then someone can just give you feedback immediately, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's networking of the 3.0 networking for 2022.
And it's online, so you can hop in a room whenever you want. So
yeah, just right now we could make and host a Clubhouse. You could speak with us, guys. Yeah, maybe we should do it. Yeah. Okay, so I think we just talked about many things. It's almost an hour. It's been a long time, even though we had some interesting blanks at the beginning. Anyway, this is now the end, guys. So I think we just nailed it. Thank you, Sebastian, for being here today. And of course, guys, if you like this podcast, please do us a favor. Go on our YouTube channel, Wolf Media on YouTube, and also subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends. And by the way, if you have any questions, just in the comments of that video, post your comment, ask us anything. And maybe in the next video, we're going to talk about it. We're going to answer your question, and maybe in a Clubhouse, maybe later. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. See you later, Seb. And see you later, guys.
See you later. Don't forget to hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Next video. Bye-bye.